It's time for Capital Recap with Congressman Mike Rogers, a periodic program with a congressman dealing with legislation and issues in Washington, D.C. that affect us here in East Alabama. Capital Recap is presented as a service to the community by Southern Metal Processing on WVOK.
This is Congressman Mike Rogers, and I'm pleased to once again have the opportunity, along with WVOK, to share what's been happening in Washington lately. I've received some questions from listeners and wanted to answer them during our time together. For example, I was asked about President Obama's sequestration that went into effect on March 1st and how the indiscriminate cuts could be made in a more responsible way. Well, the President's sequestration plan was originally put in place to be a last resort situation where budget cuts would be so devastating across the board that Congress and the President would come together in the end with a broader agreement to replace them. Well, that didn't happen. And right now, it's still too soon to see the true impact of sequestration long term. It's important to remember that our nation is broke and owes $16.6 trillion. Spending reforms are absolutely vital to our future as a nation. While sequestration may not be the preferred way to start reducing federal spending, we must start to get our fiscal house in order. Last week, we touched on the issue of the thousands of potentially dangerous illegal immigrants who were released from detention facilities around the country prior to the start of the sequester. Allowing these criminals back on our streets was an unsafe move by the Obama administration. As a senior member of the Homeland Security Committee, I sent a letter this week to John Morton, Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known as ICE, calling on his resignation as director for his poor judgment. The letter stated, quote, "The Department's justification for this action is that these individuals will remain in monitoring program while deportation proceedings are ongoing," close quote. It baffles me that you and the administration believe that some who already committed at least one crime by entering this country illegally would actually participate in a monitored release program for their own deportation, close quote. I want to hear from you, though. So please visit my website at www.mike-rogers.house.gov to contact me or sign up for my newsletter. Thanks for listening.
This has been Capital Recap with Congressman Mike Rogers, presented as a service to the community by Southern Metal Processing.